So today's episode of Milestones is gonna be a pretty
Heavy.
dare I say heavy? Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty heavy one. We are gonna be discussing on coping with grief.
Is that why we're all wearing white?
No, actually, it was just by coincidence. By right, it should be black, but I don't know. Some cultures will be white. Okay, so today we are gonna be talking about grief because all four of us have gone through certain types of grief. Because
I think a lot
Everyone
of people
has-
have
everyone's
gone through,
been-
but
gone
we
through it.
happen to have personal experience.
correct.
So let's begin with yours first. Let's have some context to everyone. Talking about grief, there's just so many aspects of it.
So
What have you been through lately?
So for me, I lost my dad less than a year ago. It's been 9 months today. Yeah, about 9 months since I last lost my dad. Correct. Jenna? Oh.
Do you want to elaborate? Like how?
Oh.
To what?
All right. So okay. So I lost my dad 9 months ago. He fell ill to a stroke, and yeah, he passed away. So basically, it's just a loss of a parent.
I lost Buncha, my dog,
Your
3 weeks ago.
Your daughter.
Yeah, my daughter. Yeah, I had her for 8 years. You?
I lost my dad. I think it's almost like 7-8 years. Yeah, and it's not my biological dad, but
It was your stepdad.
he was the guy who brought me up as a man. Yeah, he was there, and now he's not. But I think he's still there, lah. In heart.
Okay.
Grief is not just about losing someone, right?
No,
Okay.
it's not.
Okay. I guess for me, I haven't lost anyone close to me yet, like directly close to me. But during COVID, that was exceptionally hard for me. Yeah, I lost. My family lost our business. That we started ever since we came to Singapore. Like everything totally shut down, so we didn't have any income, anything at all during the whole CB period. So that was very hard for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me bring it back to.
It's basically
Jenna.
going through some form of loss.
Yes,
That's
some
that's
form of
the
loss.
that's more of a more universal
Correct.
point of view.
So let me just ask you.
Yeah.
So how was your grieving process with?
I'm
Buncha?
still in the grieving process. So it took a big hit because it came extremely unexpected, which I can say the same for the both of you. Maybe more so for it. It came extremely unexpected, and I think that's the biggest pain in everything. The shock. I think nothing hurts more than that.
Yours also was within.
Yeah,
is it?
I think death is inevitable, but there's some people who like suddenly accident or suddenly passed away. I think that is more painful than those who are slowly deteriorating in health. But not saying that it's less painful or more painful, but the sudden shock sometimes, the first reaction you'll be like speechless.
I think it doesn't give you time to prepare to feel.
Yeah,
Like you don't know how to feel because you don't have time to.
like I remember looking at Insta stories. Buncha was very like then it's just
Yeah. The previous.
Correct.
Still see her playing with.
It was within 12 hours, right?
I think it hurts a lot more when you don't expect it. Pain hurts. Any form of pain, it hurts more when you do not expect it. But when you expect something, you have ways to prepare for it mentally. You are somewhat ready.
ready to accept.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're ready to accept, but if it suddenly happens, like wait, give me time. I haven't accepted this yet.
Yeah, I think I had it like, not say easier, but I had a different sense of route for mine because my dad got hospitalized in February, where he then got into like a very permanent condition for a good 4 months. So for 4 months, we were all on the brink of like hoping that it would get better, but every day as days goes by, just gets worse and worse and worse. Even a slight sliver of hope was enough to make us happy.
You did not put it in the right words then, but maybe 4 months was too long.
Yeah,
Maybe 4 months was too long.
4 months was way too long.
At that point, it's really just like, it's more of a relief.
Yeah. So one thing that I did during that 4 months that really like sort of like brought me to a certain level of enlightenment. I read up on this article. It's actually written by this psychiatrist right? Her name is Kubler-Ross, right? So as I stated here, okay, because I read about this like years ago, like the 5 stages of grief, okay, but it's been updated and apparently now there's 7 stages of grief.
Wow.
So everyone thought that grief was like a linear process. Like when you're going through grief, this is what happens. This is what should happen after this, after this, after that. Linear process. After a while, you realize that grief. There is no correct way to grieve. Grieving is just like a bunch of different phases of emotions that you go through, right? So
That can
obviously,
come up anytime.
exactly. So the initial stage will always be shock. That's pretty obvious. That's pretty evident. Everyone mostly starts with shock.
Yeah.
After shock, right, you will either be in anger or denial. I think I was in denial for the longest time. Yeah, because then when you then after your denial, you start to accept it. Then it becomes anger. You're angry at the fact, like why couldn't this have happened to another person, or like why did it have to happen today? Why did it happen to you and stuff like that? And then after the anger comes bargaining.
Mm-hmm.
I think-
Explain bargaining.
Okay,
What do
s-
you mean by bargaining?
So bargaining, right, is all the if only I did this, if only I did that, what if I have done this? I think this is the part where a lot of people spend a lot of time during grieving process, like the what ifs.
Yeah.
For me, like for my dad, I honestly have one thing that I kind of regret, like what if I return home that night
Okay.
for me? It was the night before because he was saying he was feeling unwell.
If you were there and you sent your dad to the hospital, it would have been better. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, correct? Because
But it just turns out that you were not home that night.
correct. I should have like been there. Like, come, let's send you to the hospital tonight, rather than tomorrow in the morning where we have to call the ambulance for you. So that was my biggest stage, bargaining, like the what ifs.
Right. And then after bargaining?
Okay, so after bargaining comes the stage where most of us fall into. It's called the depression stage, where we finally just let everything devour us up. Well, I like to use that word.
Sure.
Because I like to acknowledge it. We are devoured in our pain.
Yeah.
We allow ourselves to feel lost, just dark and sad and everything. So this phase usually is what changes a person. It alters you mentally, like
Your
how-
brain chemistry
correct.
changes.
Your outlook on life, the way you carry yourself, everything just changes during this depression stage.
Yeah.
Then
And-
after that,
And then after that?
after depression comes the testing stage, where you will try different methods on how to go about it, like how to handle your grief, how to handle the people around you as well. But obviously, that's why it's called a test, because not everything works. You can still try to fix it, but obviously you cannot be healed. Like there isn't a fixed way to healing it. All right. Then last time, the most important thing is acceptance, because acceptance is basically just to understand the situation, having the ability to understand that you cannot control the situations around you, but you can control how you react to the
100%.
situation. It's like the previous podcast that we mentioned about happiness, right?
Yes.
You cannot control everything that's around you. You can just control how you react to it. So yeah, those are the 7 stages of
Wow,
grief.
very well put.
And I also like to have a quote which I read, because I was reading a lot about grief when my dad was in that 4 months.
of course.
So there's this quote: "No one ever gets over grief. You just learn how to live with it."
Yeah, I agree. And it comes out in the most random times.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like even for Debbie, like out of the most random moments, she will start crying and say she misses her grandma. Yeah,
Like
or
the littlest
yeah.
thing that reminds us of the person.
yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not where like sometimes not even about reminding. Like sometimes it's just like you just feel it out of nowhere, and that's what I've been going through. Like for me, I completely agree with the whole bargaining thing or the what ifs. Like to give you guys some context, on the night that Buncha passed away, we all visited her in the hospital,
Vet.
and she was there she was doing the oxygen thing, and it really seemed like she was getting better. So basically, she had some lung infection, and it seemed like she was getting better, and suddenly she just passed on, and the doctors grabbed her and took her onto the table to do CPR, and I stopped them, and that was when like my heart just died because like I knew the moment I stopped them, there's no going back. I will never see Buncha again. So I knew that the moment I stopped the CPR, it's over. And but I had to because it was too much for her small body, and even if the CPR went through, she may not be the same.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of mental calculations at that time, and yeah, I had to make that decision. So of course, there's also a lot of what ifs, and it's difficult.
Yeah, I understand.
Sometimes it's better to let go.
And yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, it is. I think for me, right, I think the hardest part was conveying to my mom that message. Because
Because it's not just
It's not just
most
about
of the
how you feel,
time
right?
when you grieve, it's not just you alone. It's the
Correct.
people around you.
the people around
And
you.
as much as you wanna be strong for them, it's also a struggle to be strong yourself.
Correct.
Yeah. But I think one thing that really brings me some comfort is I even told Ridwan like last time, you know, the day Buncha came, right, he was like very unsure whether he would like her or not, and he was because I told Rid I told him like the reason why I will never get a pet is because don't think I can deal with the day that I lose them, and it's normal that we will outgrow their life, and I will lose them in sometime in my life, and I don't think I can deal with that. I even told him, that's why I will never get a pet. But after the last 8 years with Puncha, and after going through everything with her, even all the pain, all the times where I have to bring her to the vet, the times my heart was beating so fast in the doctor, and of course, the final part losing her. If I knew how much pain I would go through, and if I had the choice to do it all over again, at that point, I would still do it. Because I take comfort in knowing that I would rather have loved and lost than to have never loved at all.
Ooh, nice quote. I like that one.
I heard it somewhere.
I heard that somewhere too.
I think it's a song.
I don't know.
It's a movie. It's a movie for
Is-
sure.
is-
It
is
is.
it?
It is.
Okay, but a lot of different. We have different ways of coping mechanism.
And I want to say that during grief, the pain is very very similar to a breakup.
Yes.
I don't know if you all feel the same way, but the pain is very similar. The way the stuff that the brain goes through, even the heartache, is very similar to losing someone, whether a friend or losing a partner.
Mm-mm.
So I think it's something that a lot of people go through, and I think everyone has different ways to deal with it.
I think the physical pain that comes along with it is the one that's really annoying.
The physical pain would be, you know, hyperventilating, crying, of course,
Your
and the
stomach
heart,
just
and the
drop
heart
in.
hurts.
Sinks, your heart
Yeah.
sinks.
The heart actually physically hurts.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all something that we have to live with.
Correct. It's all
Yeah.
part of
Because
life.
as we grow up, we can never wish that we will never see a parent or a pet pass on, or even a friend pass on without us. Because the only way that you can ensure that is if you die right now.
Yeah.
Correct.
And that, of course, is also the worst case scenario. So it's just something that everybody has to live with.
Yeah, to be human.
And you have to be human. You have to feel. You have to appreciate that they play a part in your life. And I often remind myself, it's not the death should never be my memory of
That is a life, right?
Puncha, but it is the life and the joy and her purpose that she brought me. That is the thing that I must always remember.
Right.
I agree with that. In African cultures, it's not a mourning period. No, it's a celebration of life when someone passes away.
I agree with the celebration part, but and sometimes like for my grandma, for our great grandma who lived 80 plus 90 plus, we did celebrate, like you know, at the place we we were throwing water. We're all like relieved because they led such an amazing life, and there was only positivity. But sometimes it's hard to deny. For at least Buncha, even for your dad, especially for you, there is no positive emotions that can come out of the situation at that point in time. Like it just the weight of the death is just so painful. Like I know Ridon hasn't shared his context yet, but this is what happened. We were in a dinner. We were some friends from Malaysia were here. We had
We had a shoot. We had a shoot.
we were at a shoot after the shoot at Marina. Ridon suddenly got a call. What happened in that call?
So I remember it was at Singapore Flyer,
Yeah.
and then after that, like, yeah, my dad doesn't show any signs of any fatigue or any sickness. So basically, he'll come home and I wasn't there. This is a story. He'll be home. Hey, the son, why all this dirty? Why never help your mother clean? One day when I'm gone, you'll be, make sure you take care of your mom. Then you don't give me the face, huh? I asked you to clean. Don't give me. Then he will lie down at my mom's lap, and then looking at the TV. Then my mom like always watching TV with the husband. Sayang my dad. And then after that suddenly like stop. Then like, hey, sayang, don't do this, don't stop joking around. Then he wasn't joking around, and then sometimes like you said the what ifs, like I wish I was there to like maybe get the defibrillator, and then maybe do some CPR. My mom have no medical knowledge. My sister also was very young, and then all I got was a text message: "Come down, hospital." Then after that, I'm in shock. I remember I ran, guys, I need to go, and I go there, and then it's in ICU, and then there was the glimpse of hopes where you put the oxygen tank. You know how Buncha got the oxygen. Okay, maybe there's something. Then. But from there, right, slowly, right, from being aware, being alert to being blanked, then you just do not know how to cope with your emotions. Then whoever entered the ward or was around you, so you do not know. You do not know the time. You do not know reality. I think it's
You
shock.
just don't know. And the next thing you know, you're
Yeah.
preparing the funeral.
It's just blank, Like I don't even know. I remember somewhere there was Daniel Ron Chen Hao. I was crying on the grass, and then it was just blank. And then throughout the whole funeral, I don't even know what's the time. Is it 12 a.m. or 12 p.m.? Was there sun? Was there no sun? Did I eat? Did I pee?
Yeah.
Gone. Yeah.
It was all too fast for you.
Yeah.
Too fast to comprehend.
It's like
yeah.
gone. No, I don't even know who was there, who was not there, what I was doing. Yeah. Yeah, it's gone.
So, what to do as friends of someone who lost a loved one?
I think I will try my best to surround myself with him to make sure that he's okay, and make sure to remind them that someone's there for you. You're not alone. You don't have to go through this alone.
That is true.
I normally give space. Because I feel like,
I need space.
Yeah.
because I know if I come, hey, Chen Hao, in the first few days, I don't think he will remember, because there will be spamming of like, hey,
I'm sorry. Yeah,
I think for different people I know, like I know you guys for very long. For Chen Hao, I know he needs space. I know for sure he needs space. He doesn't want anyone to talk to him. Doesn't want anyone to say, hey, wanna go grab a bite or what? He does not want that.
Definitely do not want to grab a bite.
But then
going, grab a bite.
hey, you wanna grab a bite? Are you feeling okay? But for Dan, I think Dan would appreciate that someone's around
Yeah.
to actually tell him like, hey, I'm here if you wanna hang out or something.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, but for me, it was very simple. I'm okay in the day, but at night, it's when you're alone in your thoughts. That's when it's just the whole world just becomes dark.
Yeah, that's why I keep telling you, hey, let's game.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, Vincent was the one that was there for me every
Ah.
night. Then game. I was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, that was my coping mechanism. To find something that I could
distract.
Yeah. It's actually not a distraction. It's to remind myself like this is what I can do for myself. It's not a distraction for me. Actually.
My coping mechanism was like for like 5 days in a row. I would just like scroll past photos and then relive Buncha's moments. I'm so thankful that iPhone has the AI that can like
See the
literally
face, right?
see the
Yeah.
face recognition of the dog. So I just typed dog. It's all of Buncha's photos and videos from her first day until her last. So I
Wow.
just like keep watching it. Oh, this was when Buncha was, no, 3 years old. This was when Buncha was, cause we live so fast in our lives that we don't always like reflect or reminisce. Like sometimes you take photos, you don't even know for what because you will never see them again. And that's the amazing thing about my phone. Because I literally take photo of everything. I take
Yeah.
videos of everything. I like record and
Even
document
we have a-
every single
Yeah.
thing.
We have a few embarrassing
We
pictures in
do,
the phone.
we do have some stuff that we are not so proud of, but those did not come up when I was searching for Puncha.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going back to it. I think different people have different ways of handling grief. Like being left alone for a while, and maybe you want someone to distract you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I think the most important thing is the support system.
support system.
That is the most important aspect in like the grieving process, because everyone around you is also grieving, but it's just maybe at different intensity. But as long as there's a support system to know that you're not in this alone, you can ask for help whenever. Help is always available to you, so whether or not you want to reach out to it. So that is very important in my opinion.
The funny thing is like, when you're grieving, right? Help is not one of the things that
You don't look for it. Yeah.
you don't look for it. You know,
Correct.
like the last thing is like that I can think of is like, help me.
Yeah, I need help, but why do you need help? I don't know. I'm just feeling sad. Help.
Like there's nothing anyone can do to help.
I think once you reach a certain stage of grief, maybe if you haven't felt better, that's when you say maybe I need to find a support group. Yeah, for some people.
This is my support group.
Yeah, this is your support group. For some people, let's say they don't have people that understand, they would join like hi, my name is Vincent. Hi, Vincent. You know? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Some people need that. Some people need that. Like, I feel like if I'm grieving very bad and I don't have you guys, I might join a support group.
Why?
I like to talk to new people, and that makes me feel better.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll introduce you to two of my good friends, Jack and Daniels. Very fun guy.
And this is where you don't listen to this advice.
Oh no, but I'm just saying that is one of the coping mechanisms that I've seen someone go through. I think that is where also you need to step in, as a support system.
That is not a coping mechanism. That is a deterrent
Yeah.
for the
Oh,
day.
yeah.
That is a deterrent.
For sure, for
Alcohol is a deterrent for the day. It will not make you forget what happened. It will not make you feel better. It'll just make you. How do you say?
It will pause the problem.
You'll
for
pause
tomorrow.
the problem for tomorrow. Then you wake up feeling all hungover and it's like I'm sad and my
Facing
head
this-
hurts.
Yeah, you're facing the same problem, but now it's a hangover.
Yes.
So just do it.
There are
without
better
alcohol.
ways to deal with it.
Yeah. But there are different ways of like how people cope with coping mechanism. I think my favorite one is coping through humor. I like to mask my grievances with humor.
That's so funny. I hate it.
Yeah, I know for sure you hate it.
I hate it.
For me, it's just a way of like coping with it.
Yeah.
Mine is humor.
Like anything like funny pisses me off even more.
I know. That's why when Punja passed, I did not try to make any
Yeah.
joke. But when Dan was grieving, I did try to make him laugh a few times.
Yeah, no, I was the one laughing. Then you're like, "Dan, calm down." Yeah, but yeah, dude. I mean, not just loss of families. I mean, we're talking about families and friends in general for the whole
Loss
time.
of anything.
Oh,
Yeah,
anything,
but Vince, like
Of anything.
how you process? How do you process actually your?
I think when the whole COVID thing happened, like everything just really shut down in my life. Like something that my family has worked hard on since we came to Singapore, just totally disappeared, and we only had like 1 week notice until CB happened.
Oof.
And then we had to still pay the rent, so that was really taxing on my dad. Yeah, so we really had no income for like at least half a year. Everything, the savings all drained out, and it made me even sad because sometimes I had friends that didn't understand my situation and would just tell me to like go find another job. Like,
Yeah, I heard
It's like-
a few people say that to you actually.
I've done this my entire life. You tell me to do that. Let me grieve a bit lah. But this loss, Yeah. So
You actually lost a lot of weight, right?
I lost a lot of weight. Like at least 15 kg. I was really not eating well. I was really stressed out about a lot of things. But I got through it by surrounding myself with friends. Yeah.
You're welcome.
There will be people that will tell you the wrong advice. They think it's good advice, but I chose to focus on the good advice.
Nice.
Yeah.
I cannot agree with you here.
No.
I just cannot, because I do understand the loss of a business, but it's just so different in this sense than when losing a yeah, I agree, something that your family work so hard for, but it's a bit different because like in my eyes, right, there are many things and many steps that you can do to get out of that hole. And it's not a subjective thing. It's not a Vincent, this is what I think and this is what you think. No, objectively there are many things that you could have done to get out of it, but it's just that it took a toll on you.
It took a toll.
I
on
would
me,
say
yes.
it took a toll on
I
you.
didn't know how to
But-
react in the situation.
Yeah, but in like I understand, sort of understand that, because I also lost like my F&B business before, after pouring in a lot of money and with a lot of hope. And let's say if one day, like if I lose Titan, like I believe I will also grieve, but I will take a few steps to
I think-
sort it out.
I think
But
that's where
it's very different than losing a human
yeah,
or a
of
life.
course. I'm not comparing it.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the-
for sure. But
Yeah.
but you know, I always think that you could have taken
I know.
many
That's,
steps.
That's why.
Many
Like,
steps.
in the stages of
And
grief, I always have this. What if I saved more money? What if I had a backup plan? I didn't have that. That's why it intensified my feelings of like
Everything was just magnified. lah at that
everything was
point.
magnified. Like, why didn't I save? Why didn't I plan for this situation? Why did I just think that nothing's gonna happen to the
Yeah.
family? But I didn't plan. So that's why
Yeah,
it
I
magnified
agree.
the feeling.
Alright.
Something that I've been trying to tell myself to not do is to use my grief as an excuse for a lot of things that I'm doing, or the stuff that I'm falling short. Like let's say if I'm in a tough spot, right? Like I just keep telling myself, like, this is not because of Buncha. Like, I have to be in a very clear mind to tell myself, this is not because of Buncha. The stuff that I'm going through at work, or the difficulties that I'm going through, this is not because of the death. It happened at the same time. It's affecting me greatly. But I'm trying to separate and not associate the grief with my shortcomings. And I think it's also important to help. I mean, back to what to do as a friend, right? I think it's important to help friends to understand that, but it's also at the same time very difficult and very insensitive. So you have to go about it the right way.
I agree.
Like
Yeah.
like at that time, I can't tell you, hey Vincent, your bar only.
Of course, yeah, but
I wouldn't say like, hey, walao, hey, other people go through so much. You.
I think
what?
I think Chanel handled it very well for me. Like, it was very nice understanding. But I had some friends that were not lah.
No, I just like to me, right. You cannot like dwell too much on it.
Of course, I don't
Dwell-
like to.
You cannot dwell too
Yeah.
much on it.
I don't dwell too much on it. And now I don't even, sometimes I forget about it already. Okay, I don't forget about it. My dad constantly reminds me about it.
No, but then there's a different issue, right?
Yeah, it's a different issue. It's a
yeah.
different issue.
Like if I had someone that constantly remind me, like, hey Buncha, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Like, hey, you never take care of Buncha. What happened to her?
Of course.
Then I'll be like, the fuck.
Yeah, that is my that's my feeling right now. Every time I get reminded of it, like,
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, we must all not associate our shortcomings with grief and still be strong, because that is exactly what they would want for us.
Of
Right.
course.
Yeah.
Life goes
and that
on.
is what ourselves before the grief would want for us as well. We may not know it, or we may not be able to understand it, but I genuinely believe that that is what our past selves would want for us.
That is
before going through the grief, before going through all that pain. And
That
it's
remains.
probably not the toughest thing that we will go through.
Yeah.
No, it's
That
definitely
is, that's something that I always like, oh or like this is bad. I don't know what will happen if all the other what ifs that I try not to think about.
not. Yeah.
But I know that eventually one day I may have to face
A bigger
something
problem.
more difficult.
Yeah,
Then
of
like,
course.
damn, you know, grief grief hurts now, but it could hurt more. So
Yeah.
I think everyone should just also try to be positive
Mm-hmm.
and move on in
Correct.
our own ways.
Yeah. It's okay to grieve, but don't let it become your personality.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow! Yes,
Yeah.
that's so good.
I think that is a great way to sum it up. But it's so insensitive to say.
It's
Like, I
insensitive.
can't imagine saying that to someone.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like, let's say if someone has been like grieving for 2 years, like I don't know how I would approach the conversation. Like, hey, bro, it's 2 years ago, you know.
yeah. It's like mentally, you know,
No,
like
man,
it's 2 years ago, but
I'll tell you guys how to approach it. Just play this video in the background saying, oh yeah.
I don't know. It's
There's no proper way to go about
There's
it.
no- there's
I mean, best we can do is just respect them, but like, as if you're the person doing it, please recognize.
I feel
man.
like this kind of thing where you don't make grieving your personality is something you gotta learn yourself.
Mm.
Yeah, you can't have someone tell you.
yeah.
Reminds me of that
Yeah, I
movie.
mean, you can
But
watch
at the
a-
same time, it's not. I'm not discounting our experience, but we at under 30 or 30 may not have experienced the kind of shit that others have gone through. So we will never be in the.
their shoes. Whenever
Yeah.
shoes. Everything people grieve for is very different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people might find it worse.
We can end off this podcast with a very good quote by Earl Groman himself. The only cure for grief is grieve.
Oh, I thought it would be the Avengers quote. You know,
What is it?
what is grief if it's not love persevering?
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's better. Sorry, Earl. Hey, who's the producer that wrote this script? Weren't you? No, weren't you? I helped a bit. Oh, that's a good quote.
Yeah.
It's my favorite quote.
That's nice.
Who said that?
Vision.
He recently posted
Vision.
To wonder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So, anyone else want to say anything?
Pain is temporary. It may last a year, 2 years, 3 minutes, 4 seconds, but it shall subside.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Well,
know that. I know
Any more? Someone?
An apple
Hard, hard times don't last. Hard men do.
Oh God. I prefer when it was tough. But yeah. Anyone else? Oh, anything?
I think we're good at. Let's end this.
I think we should just
Yeah.
end it here.
Because once my humor comes out, it's different. you know?
Just remember, guys. If you're grieving, do not seclude yourself from everyone.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have friends out there who are willing to help
You're
you.
loved. You're cared for.
We all love you. Okay, so remember to subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of Milestones. Yeah. Sorry to end it off so heavy.